thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to do a video and attempt to do another doormat, but using the freezer paper that I've seen in some of the videos that I've watched, using that as my stencil. So what I'm going to do now is go about getting it weeded out and then place it on my doormat. Then I will iron it to keep it down on the mat. So I'm going to go ahead and start weeding it. I will be keeping the little inserts like this because I will need to use them later on. I was worried that this was going to be hard to do, but because this mat, the mat that I have a silhouette, but I like the Cricut, or however you say it, Cricut. I like their mats better because I don't know, I haven't bought any for a while, so it might just be me, but I think that they're a lot stickier. And I was having such an issue, which I didn't replace mine for quite some time, but I was having such an issue with mine towards the end. Then I happened to buy one of these and I thought, my goodness, this is a lot stickier than I ever remember my new one being. So, could just be me, but I am going to keep all these pieces as I'm weeding this out. Again, I'm like really surprised how easy this is coming up. Very good. And then I'm going to show you at least what I've learned, and hopefully, I've never done this before. This is a new thing for me as well. Kind of like to try the new things, and then that way hopefully it'll help somebody else find out if it's actually as easy as it looks, or as easy or harder than it is, or if it works well, doesn't work well. So that way maybe avoids something that you have to go through. I'll go through it for you and let you know. So I'll just keep doing this and then I'll come back. Alright, so I got it weeded and taped down to my floor mat. And then I'm going to start ironing, but I'm going to iron this first and then put in the missing pieces for the centers. So we're going to start off by ironing it first, and then go in with the little pieces and put those in. And we're going to see how this goes. So wish me luck. Alright, so I got it ironed down, and so far it seems to be holding quite well. I'm going to be using the FolkArt Outdoor Paint. It's acrylic. This one is called Red Hot. Not so sure how red hot it is, but it looks more orangey to me. But then I'm going to also be using the FolkArt Outdoor Gold. And for, let's see if I have any of that. Just for part of this, I'm going to be using the multi-surface Licorice, which is also considered outdoor. I'm going to be using a Stencil Brush by Waverly, and I'm going to start off with this. It's actually a combination of the red and the gold together. I wanted to get yellow, however, the site was out of it. So, let's see if I can get more of that pumpkin in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here. Now I'm not sure how well these little lines are going to actually make little lines in the pumpkin, but I'm planning that if they don't do well, then I will just go back over it with a different color and do the lining. The hardest part, I think, in doing this process is getting the paint down into the actual fibers well enough. I love the one I did early on with the butterflies and birds and the hello on it. Now, anybody that's ever had one of these mats, whether you're buying it from somebody online, you're buying it at the like Hobby Lobby or any of the discount stores, they are going to shed. The Coir mats do shed. That's just the nature of them. So if you're buying one thinking it's not going to, I'm sorry, but you're going to be disappointed because it is going to shed. Now how much? There are mats you can actually put underneath these that are supposed to help with the longevity of the mats. So that's something you might want to consider too. But don't buy one, no matter what anyone says, and think that it's not going to actually shed. Because I know mine that I have on my porch tends to shed mostly where I know that the way my door opens and how the footprints actually hit the door, you know, the mat, I should say, not the door, but when people are walking in, that part of the mat actually seems to have the part that's wearing and that sheds. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's an edge, like right here towards the bottom, where people are mainly stepping on that mat as they come in. This part over here doesn't have as much of that shedding going on, so I'm pretty certain that it has a lot to do with, you know, people actually stepping on the mat in that area. I do have my mat sitting on top of another doormat in hopes that that will help slow down the wear on it. But again, yeah, I'm not sure how much that's going to actually help, if any. Alright, so what I'll do is probably do this a couple times. But my analogy of this, of the freezer paper, I really like it. I think I'm going to try to attempt to do the stem in a little bit of gold. And it might flow down into the orange a little bit, which is fine. Don't have a problem with that. Just to give it some variation. I'm trying to stick it on here thicker. If I were to cut this design out again, I might make these lines here on the pumpkin a little bit thicker, just to give it a better chance at keeping separated. Now this is outdoor paint. I also do spray them with an outdoor varnish, and that way I'm giving it added protection. Now what you might consider doing as time goes on when you have one of these mats is maybe save some time to actually add some varnish to it periodically. And again, that's just for added protection. Not something you have to do. And I know there are sprays out there, the rubber sprays that people have used to do these mats. I've heard some pros and cons about that. If you're thinking, maybe that would be an option. If you've tried to make these mats, or you make them, and you have any suggestions, feel free to make a comment below. If you're new to my channel, also stop by and say hi. Have any suggestions on other things I can try to do, anything that interests you that you'd like to see done, you know, let me know. If it's something I can do, I certainly will give it a try. Definitely. Now, this didn't seem to stick down very well. Note to self. Hopefully I can make it work still. Yeah, I found like some of the smaller pieces I definitely needed to put my iron on more to try. Oops, that one just came up. Up. Not good, not good, not good. Oh, great. And I did put the iron down on this one. So what I might do is just stipple or stencil this in and go back in with a brush to clean it up. Okay, so there you go. You got to be careful with that. I thought they were down better. And also I know some people will stick pins in them. But I did go over my other one with a brush, a little paintbrush, and got it, painted it darker in some of the areas. And that's probably what I'll do with these. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick stencil of this, pull this up, and just plan on doing that with a bigger brush or a smaller paintbrush. This way you can see it. But I know people that have done these, it'll do like little stick pins in them, and that way it'll hold down some of these little pieces. But I just want to get this touched as quickly as possible so I have a guideline before these come off. So this part I'm not so happy about. But I also did not put guidelines on these to actually hold them into place, so that might be something I do the next time. Any advice if you do these, let me know. If you've done the freezer paper. You know, if you're going to be doing these a lot, you probably should have more of a permanent stencil made up. I'm going to stop with pouncing this before I get too far ahead of myself, so I can actually go in freehand and touch it, fix it. Alright, and I might be adding some other stuff to this, so I'm going to go ahead and rip this up right now while we talk. This is done for right now. Again, it's, you know, light in some areas, but I'm going to go back through and fix that up. And I'm going to pull this up. Now I haven't used contact paper. I use a lot of contact paper when I'm doing stenciling. Well, I like contact paper, but I'm not sure. Just in the lighter phase, there you see it. So then, like I said, I'm going to go back through and make this darker, and then let you see the final, I'm sorry, I hit that. Let you see the final thing. I might put some stripes around it. Haven't decided quite yet, but I will show you the final product as soon as I get done. Alrighty, I just wanted to take a minute to finish this video and show you how it turned out after I went back in and filled it in. I ended up using the gold to put some lines on the pumpkin, as you can see. Did not actually go around it and put a border on it. If I were to do another one, I might do that in the future, but for this one I'm going to leave it as it is. I hope you like it. Again, if you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Share this video by the button down below. And make sure you share it with your family and friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take time to do so now, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever I post something new. Again, I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until the next video, have a good one.